Hello chess friends, I'm back with another video, and this time we are going to have a look at some opening traps for white in Smith-Morra Gambit, as I promised before. So in the next video we are going to have a look at Judith Polgar game. So before that we have a look at some traps for white in Mora. If black is not very much aware about these traps, he easily can fall into one. So let's start. E4, C5, more accepted. So here 6 is played. This is a very common move, and usually here this knight to G3 move is a very common move in the mainline Morra Gambit theory, and that probably is the best move also. But there is another possibility, that is bishop c4, and you can use this very effectively in your blitz and bullet games over the internet and also over the board if you are playing in some blitz tournament. This is really very effective, considering lot of traps involved here. So if your opponent responds with knight f6, then there is a dangerous line, and the most this is not a good move, knight f6 first of all. So let's check it out why. E5 is naturally the most common reaction here, trying to kick the knight and exploiting this pin here, because this can be very important, as we are going to see. If d takes c5 here, then that is almost game over. You can see it now, because this f7 pawn is attacked here, and if bishop captures this f7 pawn, then there is no legal move for king but to capture that and leaving this queen here without any support. So bishop takes, then king cannot come out here because of this check. So king has to take that bishop, and after queen takes d8, this is almost over. You can see there isn't much left here. Anybody can win this position very easily. So there is another 3 possibilities here, and apart from this pawn take pawn on e5, that is the worst choice. Another good possibility is knight g8, and after knight f3, e6, bishop g5 is very strong here. E6 is almost forced here, because again this f7 pawn is real weak, only supported by this king, and fight has similar ideas like what we saw just now. So it is very important to protect that f7 pawn, and this is a good way to indirectly support that pawn, or to prevent this bishop on c4 to eyeing this f7 square. But now bishop g5 is really strong. There is only one practical good move here, that is bishop e7. After bishop takes e7, knight takes e7. Here this queen can capture this pawn here on e6, oh sorry, d6, but the best move here is e takes d6, trying to keep queens on board, because you have some initial attacking possibilities. So after knight f5, knight to b5, and this certainly is a very comfortable position for white to play. Black can castle here, but then this white knight has a square here to access, and this square c7 with the fork on rook and king. So another possibility here, after this move e5 is knight to g4, here knight to g4, but after e6 this is really dangerous, playing knight to g4, because we have this e6 move, and now this bishop is no longer supporting this knight here. So now queen is attacking this knight on g4, and knight to e5 is almost forced here. Another possibility is bishop takes e6. After bishop takes e6, knight goes back and you retreat your bishop and you are a piece up simply. So that is not very practical solution here. Only good move is knight e5, and here still white is much better, because after this sequence of moves, this is almost over for black. This is really surprising, but e6 is the best response here, and preventing bishop from again looking at this f7 knight, supported only by this king. So knight d4 here is very much plus position for white, though white maybe is a pawn down, but this is very comfortable position for white to play. Another possibility here is not e6 but e5, and that is a blunder, because after bishop takes f7, king takes f7, and knight takes e5, there is a check. So here again you cannot capture this pawn, because this queen is hanging here. Queen on a8 d8 is hanging, so there is no option available but to move your king back to e8. And then this queen h5 check is really deadly, and after king e7, this is a very easy position. You can see there is a checkmate. So now g6 is a forced move, and this is really easy for white to win. You can see white is an exchange and a pawn up, and another, if we go back to our initial position, here there is also another move, and most critical of all, that is knight f2 d7, and this is the most important move, I think. After knight f3, he takes e5, knight g4, e6, and castle. White is very easily developing here, though black has 2 extra pawns, but this position is not easy to play for black, certainly. And now after h6, we even can sacrifice the piece here, and here this is again forced to move your king to e7. Any move like g6 is almost suicidal, because if queen somehow get access to this square here, then with a check, then this pawn is hanging, and if you lose the pawn on e6 and on g7, then it's almost over. So the best move here is to move your king out of check on e7, and bishop g5 is the real good move here, because again we are exploiting this pin to this rook. This this bishop cannot be captured here, because again you win this rook here on h8. So best possible continuation here. See, if you capture this, then you're losing your rook, so best continuation is knight f6, and after this bishop takes f6, g takes f6, and rook a to d1, queen is attacked. After queen e8, this position is really good for white, though it seems white is materially down. But look at this queen side pieces of blacks. These are all dead, they are not playing, and white can move his queen to h3 or even to e2, but h3 is I think better, keeping an eye on this square here on e6. So that is one plan. Even you can try to double your rooks on this d file, or probably move your d rook to d2 and bring your f rook to d1, or even you can try to double rooks on e file also. And this is not an easy position to play for black, at least in blitz or rapid game. So if you want to try it, you can check out some variations, and you can play certainly on some online chess servers if you just want to give it a shot. But this is really good, this bishop c4 move. So let's go back to the starting position, e4, and here bishop c4. This is an alternate move. The main move is knight to this knight, developing this knight to here on f3 square. That is the most common move, but this bishop c4 is an alternate move in Smith-Morra Gambit, and this really works well in blitz. So that's all in this 7th part of the Morra series today. So you try this in your own games, and if you like it, you certainly can play this for fun in bullet and blitz game. And that's all for now. Bye bye.